inevitable.
Yeah, you can try and convince me that I'm wrong. That's nice. We can move on, but I'll still think I'm right.
I love it.
And that's how we're going to start the episode is I think I'm right all the time. Nice to meet you all.
Hey, I love it.
No L's ever. I love it.
It's possible that you might need to open conversations with Sam saying, how was your work day? You know? Before you even jump into the trade, like
how's the drink going down?
Do you have a bourbon and ginger in hand? How you feel?
The answer is no. Don't offer me a trade.
Right, exactly.
You know what, Sam? I'll circle back soon. Okay, call you. Bye.
And then I'll just think you're being thoughtful. Oh, okay. Well, I'll listen to this trade when they send it. Like they're being really considerate of my feelings. Like that's so sweet.
Oh my god, Sam! I'm gonna circle back when that drink is empty, and I'm gonna see where you're thinking when you're tipsy or drunk. We'll go there.
Sure. Yeah, that's perfect. Better to reassess.
And then Sam's going to have her own podcast segment, Old School Tradecast, Drunk or Not. What's the trade when you were drunk or not?
I remember those. Oh my gosh, I love it.
There's some I don't remember, but I was told about.
We did those for a couple times, and then I realized, I'm really making myself look like a drunk, so I should probably stop doing this segment.
That's hilarious because that's burned into my brain. Because when we started saying that, I'm like, I remember Nathan is like notorious for doing this, and it's because of that segment. I forgot about it.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
You can't
see, but the thing is, it probably wasn't even the drinks you were actually addicted to. It was the trading.
Of course.
So many trades while you happen to be drunk.
Yeah. It's like online shopping. You just deal with the repercussions the next day. Doesn't mean you don't like doing it.
Oh my gosh, truth serum. I love it.
That's not so bad.
But Nathan, though, props to you because you're the only one that will admit it. But I guarantee everybody here has at least made one drunk trade. If not,
but I use it as a defense mechanism. Like I'll wake up like, oh, that doesn't look good. Like, oh, it was because I had trade goggles.
You were sober as hell the night before. You're like, oh, I was hammered. Don't worry about it.
Love it.
It is the open bar. This conversation is appropriate.
Yeah,
there you go.
We've done it. We've done it. We have successfully brought back drunk or not for trades. We're doing it. We're doing it tonight. Do we have a list of that? Can we make that happen?
I mean, we could.
We could probably dig through. I haven't made many trades since like rookie drafts, probably. So, all right. Oh, boy, howdy, J Mike. We're live, man. It's Tuesday. It's 9:30 Eastern. Ish. I'm so exhausted from having to work again. I haven't worked since May and it's only my second day back, and I'm just ready to pass off hosting duties to Ben because you came through today to say hello, say everyone good for tonight, and that's typically J Mike's job. J Mike again, kind of falling through, buddy. And
hey, I wouldn't say it's falling through. I would just say I was very excited when I woke up. I knew it was open bar night, and just happy to be here.
Exactly. What else would you do when you wake up? It's about the only feeling.
For me, it's a mad dash to try to be ready for my video call at 8 a.m. with my coworkers, which I just look forward to every night.
7:58. Yeah.
Yeah, you wake up like, oh, I got to be ready. Okay.
Are you guys all still on work from home?
Yes, luckily, and probably for a couple more months at least. So I'm lucky, and I'm enjoying it, to be honest. So.
I'm back in the office, and it is difficult now with like you said, the routine is key because my routine was, I'm awake, my office is in the other room, and I just go around the corner, and now it's like you gotta, shower, and like it's just a bunch of other stuff. You gotta be presentable for humans.
Have to worry about natural hygiene again. It's terrible.
I can't just wear my pajamas all day. It's like, I have to be presentable, not like homeless looking.
Right.
I've gotten way too used to the 5 p.m. shower. Like all summer. I don't think I took a morning shower. And
it's interesting that you say that because I'm a morning showerer, but because of quarantine, like it's changed. And now I've taken so many like midday or like 5 p.m. showers, and it's like, I don't do this. Like what's going on? But everything's changed in 2020. So
yeah, I don't even care. If I just wake up and I'm like, I think I showered within the last 48 hours, so probably good.
You kind of have to do some math on that, right? Like, okay, I'm okay for today. Like,
True, yeah.
Rotate clothes.
I got called out by my wife
That's
after she said, have you showered today? And you stink. And I was like, no. And he's like, well, she said, well, why don't you just put deodorant on?
Why don't you just put in like 2% effort and put on the
Literally.
deodorant?
What do we think about that though? Is that even worth it? Like, to me, I'm just like, I'm just gonna make my body develop this tolerance of me being
That's not how it works.
Disgusting. No, okay, and not well, and it just, I don't know. It's just like a weird.
You can't smell yourself, like.
No, I
Like,
mean,
oh no, that's the worst part when you
I'm
can.
Yeah.
But Gabe,
yeah, sure.
literally, that's my life, because my wife's line is, "You smell like an onion," and when she says that, that's when I know, oh damn, I forgot deodorant. Like, I better go put some on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, babe, peel this back. Let's go. All right, and we're live.
There we go.
6 minutes.
J
love
Mike,
it. I love it.
sorry. I tried to transition into saying hello and introducing you. And how you doing, man? How you doing, brother?
Listen, I refuse to follow being peeled back by anything at this point, so I'm gonna sidestep, keep it moving. No, it's Tuesday. It is. It's good to be here at the Open Bar, and hey, it's Hard Knocks night. I think people are pretty excited to see the LA teams do work. But no, it's
Wait, are you
similar to
serious?
you. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, is that the first night? Is tonight the first night for it?
I think tonight is night number 1. Yes.
Wow, I'm terrible. I've just been locked into Dame time. I just know it's Dame time. So, I mean,
And that's the thing, right?
That's the whole point of the bubble. It
it's
just keeps you in
it's
place.
it's bubble ball for me right now.
There you
So.
go. You're
Have
bubble
you
boy.
done? Did you do the video where you like on the screen as like the fan in the stands? I don't even know how you sign up to do that.
Eddie, I don't know how you do that, but I'd be down, because I've been locked in. I got my future bets placed. Let's go Clippers, Kawhi and Blazers. Like one of the, as long as come on, let's go, baby.
You're a Clippers fan?
I'm not. I'm a Bulls fan, but they're trash. They're not even in the bubble. So you gotta get
To
creative.
pick your teams, I understand. I appreciate.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's what
Bubble
sports
ball.
teaches you over time.
actually,
Like, if I was-
Kawhi made an
early-
appearance. Kawhi made an appearance thanks to Aton this morning in the chat. What it do, baby?
Right.
and that's and
Who's
that
been named
is
forever?
yeah. I could talk NBA bubble all day. So I don't know. I don't know if we really want to go there right now, because my Spurs are
No,
trying to make things real difficult.
We'll do another podcast afterwards, J.
I
Mike.
like that. Open bar after hours. But no, Gabe, I'm great. And Gabe, I have actually. What's funny is my wife, in all the time that we've been married, my wife is actually asking me that question as well, Gabe. Like, hey, did you get a shower today? But then she'll start. Well, even before that, she'll start the sentence with, "Hey, I'm gonna say this, and I really don't want you to take it the wrong way."
That's nice. That's
I mean,
nice.
it's kind, but
Makes you
I
feel
know
worse.
she's about to come into my throat. Like,
Right.
rather.
At least she
I'd rather
gives you a warning, though. At least you get a warning.
That's
Hey,
like in
I'm
Talladega
not
Nights when he
confused.
says, "With all due respect," but like he doesn't mean it with any respect.
What do you expect me?
You can't just say anything. Just say with all due respect.
You can't just say anything you want to me just because you said "with all due respect." Like that's exactly what it means. It's in the Geneva Convention. Look it up.
But yeah, that's where I'm at, Gabe. So yeah, we're in the same boat.
Man,
Preach, brother.
yeah.
I just want everyone to know I shower every day.
Oh,
Regularly.
stop that. You're better than all of us.
Associate-
I also leave the house for work every day, so that's fine.
I mean, if you leave, then that's
Then it's understandable.
the point.
There's an incentive for sure. Yeah.
Get this normie out of here, boo.
Maybe we did invite the wrong guests here, J. Mike. I was under the impression that we were getting guests on that don't shower.
Does that mean I can stay?
Yes, it does, Ben. Yes, it does.
All right. Well, sure. Let's get to the shower talk, huh? And introduce the guests. Let's start with the cleanest of them all. All right. Nathan, the Mr. Trade Drunk. What am I trying? Guys, look, I can't.
You got this.
Go back.
You got it. Sound it out.
I can't go back to work, guys. I can't do it.
I feel so bad for you for working for 2 days. I feel terrible.
Yeah, it just ain't it, man. Nathan, nice to meet you, brother. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? I know that you're feeling clean, so you can skip over that part.
I'm doing great, guys. This has already been a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this podcast, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So okay, look, before the show even started, we were just hyping up Nathan. I mean,
oh, Jesus. Crawl into a ball.
He was blushing. He said he was blushing. All right. So
no pressure, Nathan.
Nathan inspired all of us, okay, to be FF analysts. He inspired the fun. All right. This is why I have FF in front of my man bun. All right. So no, it's good to have you on, Nathan.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, Ben, another inspiration to the game. All right, a Dame fan. All right, a Bubble fan. Welcome to the open bar. Also nice to meet you. How you doing, big fella?
I'm having a blast, just like Nathan said. Happy to be here. I'm a big fan of Nathan's fro right now, so I'm just, I'm ready to roll.
Volume there, I like it.
Yeah, you can tell he showers every day because that's shampoo is better, conditioner is better.
Stop looking at me, Sean. Yeah, what kind of poo you using, dude?
I don't know. Walmart?
No, Walmart had their own brand.
I have my fiance does my hair shopping, so there you go.
Shopped for your hair? So is that not your hair? That's confusing. Very misleading.
Oh my god.
I mean, you did say the question was, where did you get your hair, or what did you do to your hair? And you said Walmart, so I can see.
There you go.
Bigger mirage, Nate's wig or Chris Godwin in the second round?
Finally.
Tough.
It took 7 years in the fantasy industry, but the fact that I wear a wig came out.
You heard it here first.
Scandal.
I
That's
don't know
what
Walmart.
you
Oh, I love it.
every Tuesday night at 9:30 Eastern ish.
It's where we break news, man. I mean, it's just what we do. I can't tell you.
Weird things happen here, man. Handles are created. Also, yeah, poo. We might have to have a poo draft. I just have to have a poo draft. All right, Aton. First of all, thank you for coming in the clutch, my dude. All right, I know J Mike was giving you a hard time for going on your 3-week hiatuses. Hiati. Nonetheless, appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in. How you doing tonight, brother?
Man, I'm good. And J Mike, absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's why I just need to make sure that I know when I get back to that trade, when I get back to J Mike, what this means. That's why. But I am really just happy to be on. Again, love the open bar, love you guys. One of the reasons that I decided, I can't even say words now, to start my own show. So I appreciate it. And this is going to be a good crew.
Look at all this inspiration.
Come on.
Positivity, baby. Let's go.
Come on, man.
Need that.
All right. And Sam, all right, holding it down for the ladies tonight. Just 2 weeks ago, we were having a ladies' night ourselves, and we certainly talked about some very interesting things and topics. We don't have to revisit it. We don't. J Mike, we don't.
We don't. J Mike, don't blush. It's okay. We won't go there again. You're in a safe space. It'll be fine.
Sam, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Just all the better for being with you guys, getting to talk, a little bit of nonsense, hopefully mostly nonsense and a little bit of football. But yeah, just like it's a good Tuesday whenever I get to hang out and talk football.
This is a football show?
I think sometimes. I mean,
I was under the impression.
Nobody really knows.
I was under the impression it was an NBA show. So
I was told there would be no math. But no, I think it's always fun to just talk, sports with everyone, and it's always good to hang out with you guys. Plus, I feel like with COVID and all of this, like I've really tried to just podcast more because this is my outlet to talk to people about the things that I want to talk about. Outside of this, like I get to talk about work. No, I want to talk about the fun stuff. So you guys are my fun. You're my highlight for the week. So I appreciate being with you.
Yes. Yeah. If anyone, I mean, everyone starts a podcast these days, I suppose. But if you were if any time, now is the time for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless of course you're showering every day and going out to work. But other than that, you probably have some time on your hands.
I know I'm way late to say this, but like this is how you social distance right here. Like this.
Yeah, this is it done right. I'm gonna apologize now because my cat is trying to get me to play fetch with him, and he's being very particular about it. So sorry, guys.
Wait, can we go back to the part where you said your cat wants to play fetch?
Yeah, he's weird.
Wow, I've never heard of a cat playing fetch.
But he doesn't play with like a toy. Like it's not like a standard toy. He like finds like a piece of trash in the house and then just keeps bringing me trash. Like he goes into trash cans to get like paper towels and is like, please play with me. I'm like, you have toys. Like you're a spoiled child. Like if people walked into this house, they'd think that I did nothing and didn't feed you.
Why is that wrapped up paper of Tostino's pizza rolls in the corner? What's up with that?
It's his toy for today.
Sam doesn't throw away her trash at all during this quarantine.
I throw stuff away.
Creating toys.
I am really getting a really great picture painted of myself. I don't shower. I have trash all over my house. And I have a cat. So, guys are lining up.
But her take is fire.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh. That's fun. So many questions still regarding the cat that plays fetch. Anywho,
the cartoon cat dog is actually reincarnated. I don't think that's the word, and is Sam's actual pet.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What is your cat's name, Sam?
That's where the fetching comes in.
My cat's name? His name is Knox.
Oh, a little shout out to Dawson. Huh?
Yeah, shout out to late round tight end Dawson. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, this is going to also add to the corner of, Sam's a nerd, but he's named after a Harry Potter spell, which means lights out because he's a black cat.
We hit
That's dope as hell.
a couple weeks ago, right? With what was your other? Oh, did we go down a bad road with? I can't remember, J Mike, but we probably. Oh yeah, we did.
That was the.
We did. We already talked about those spells. We did. Yeah, we don't have to go back down that road.
So, with all that said, in the Knox vein, obviously Hard Knocks starting this evening. All the way on the left coast, Aton and Samantha area. Ben and Nathan, I don't know exactly where you all hail from or where you live, but I know that they're out.
I'm in Virginia, so East Coast.
Okay, so
East Coast,
very, very good. So we've got the all LA Hard Knocks. I'm actually excited to be able to check that out at some point. And more than anything, I'm just curious, who has a better record this season, the Rams or the Chargers? Everybody.
Rams.
The Rams.
Easy.
Because the Chargers are going to start Tyrod Taylor.
Oh my God!
And then they're going to start Justin Herbert, and then we're just going to see interceptions replay over and over and over again. So
there's going to be fantasy value there, but it's going to be for the opposing team.
But I also don't think either of those teams are going to be good. I think they're both going to be bottom of their divisions.
I think this is a tougher question than because the Rams, both divisions, I guess, are kind of tough.
I will say that the Chargers have one of the most ridiculous defenses that I've ever seen.
They do.
We're really dismissive. We're really dismissive of the Chargers.
Tyrod is he's serviceable.
I don't think they can score points, but I don't know if people can score points against them either.
Because I think Arizona is going to be really I think Arizona is making the playoffs this year. So you got Arizona and San Fran, the Rams and Seattle. I'm going with the Chargers, and I'm a Broncos fan, but we'll be 7-9, 8-8 again, and hope to build some momentum for 2021. So I'm gonna maybe be the contrarian one here. I like this Chargers team. Their defense is stacked. I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
That's fair with the division take. With the quick tangent, do you think the Cardinals and Seahawks and 49ers make it, or which?
You know what? Because we have it. It's already this year where you get the extra playoff team, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going. All three teams make it then. Yes.
All right.
All three or all four?
All three, and the Rams finished last.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Which is hard to say because McVay. 1 year ago, but the Rams, their team as a whole is just a little. Their defense is pretty dicey. So
just wait till you see Hard Knocks, Ben.
Oh, I'm gonna be all in.
You're gonna have the top of the
1.05. Let's go.
Don't wait to trade for any of the people pictured in Hard Knocks though, because I mean, obviously the Hard Knocks bump.
Get your Van Jeffersons ready to trade.
I know, right? Make sure you get that in now.
Josh Kelly, Joe Reed. Oh, trade Joe Reed for a profit.
Joe Reed. Oh, I wanted great things for Joe Reed.
He might be the third guy. They have nobody there. So,
and this is what I eventually did want to get to when James in the chat asked, which obviously shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys checking us out live Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern here. YouTube, Periscope, wherever you choose to check us out. And obviously, if you're listening in podcast form, we appreciate you, but you're missing out on the live fun. And this is a great question from Chef James. What up, Chef? This is the better question. I'm way more excited to be able to talk about this. Which team has more fantasy value? Which group of players are you more exciid about?
In LA?
We can go position by position too, I suppose, huh?
Definitely the Rams overall.
Rams for sure overall.
Is it the Rams?
Hold on.
I think so. Make your case otherwise.
Okay,
so I think the
bottom of
Rams
division
volume, but I think the Chargers have the players that are going to be the highest at their positions. I think Austin Eckler, I mean, even with the Tyrod Taylor situation, even if you don't think he's going to target Austin Eckler as much as you think he's going to,
right?
I mean, they just paid him, and he's still going to be one of the main guys on that team that's just going to get the ball over and over and over again, probably through the air, but obviously rushing through the middle as well. So if we're talking about what team is going to have the volume in terms of fantasy potential, I think you're going to get more players that hit with the Rams, but I think the ones that hit with the Chargers are going to hit hard because I think that there's a funnel there that you can see.
I think everybody's probably in agreement that Eckler's a stud. After that, though, I just think the passing games, like it's. I mean, I think Tyrod's serviceable. I think they'll have a good defense, but I'm not that excited about the passing game. Whereas obviously, there's a lot to like about a lot of Rams in the passing game. I will say though, I am very intrigued by Mike Williams, especially in best ball. I know everybody says that, but you look at how efficient he was last year. He had 1,000 yards. Didn't have a ton of targets. I know Rivers is gone, but I'm the biggest Keenan Allen fan there is, but he's going to take a hit with no Rivers because Tyrod, I mean, look, he's going to still be a good player, but from fantasy value, I think he takes a hit. But the way that we've seen Tyrod succeed in the past, when Sammy Watkins used to be actually good and go downfield, I think their games are going to mesh pretty well. So I'm pretty intrigued by Mike Williams, where you can get him especially. So I will say that.
Yeah, the reason why I think it's the Chargers, and I'm not sure it's as close as some people are saying, it's that when you look at wide receiver, you have head-to-head, you have Keenan versus Kupp. I think that's Keenan by a hair. Mike Williams versus Robert Woods. I think Mike Williams is much better. He led the league in yards per catch and had a 1,000-yard season.
At ADP or just in general?
What's that?
At ADP or just in general?
Both. I mean, I'm taking Mike Williams at his ADP, but also
over Robert Woods?
I probably wouldn't take Robert Woods straight up.
I'm just asking.
No, but still,
asking for a friend. I mean, it's not.
I think Mike Williams. I'll put it this way: I think Mike Williams is a better football player than Robert Woods today. What does that mean? I don't know.
I will say one thing in favor of Mike Williams, and that is exactly what you were saying before. Tyrod Taylor likes to throw it deep because most quarterbacks that scramble, if they have the opportunity to dump it off to a shorter pass, that's not the first thing that they're looking at. They're looking to go ahead and scramble. So they're looking to make deep shots when they actually look to make plays. But at the same time, I mean, if you're talking about two receivers that are just going to be peppered with targets, probably because of a lack of other guys on that team, whatever you think about Higbee, the Los Angeles Rams, both Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, look to be a huge amount of targets.
Hey, and Gerald Everett late. Come on, baby. And then Josh Reynolds late, like last round of a best ball draft. Ooh, I like Josh Reynolds too.
That's true. I mean, Goff was very close to getting the top 24 wide receivers. I mean, not very close, but within range. And I think that Reynolds can be healthier than Cooks, and that could possibly happen. But I guess everyone's on the Higbee or Everett, whichever team you want to be on. That's their third wide receiver, I guess.
Team Everett.
Me too.
Sam, you didn't dive into the Rams very much. I want to hear your perspective on that.
Wait, who?
Sam, you.
Oh,
Sam.
me? Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
me.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say, like, for me, for the Rams, I just feel like it's. I mean, yes, Keenan Allen, I think obviously of those receivers is better than the others, but I feel like when you see, like you just said, with peppered targets across the board to both Kupp and Woods, I think opportunity is higher and you have a more successful floor just for that offense. Like, we already know what they are together. We already know how McVay runs that offense. We already know they're each going to have over 1,000 yards. So I'd rather go with what I know this season, especially, just for immediate comparison, because like you just said, we don't know what we're going to get with Tyrod Taylor 100%. We don't know what we're going to get with Herbert. Like, we can kind of rely on Austin Eckler, and I've been, trying to get him where I can because I feel like he's a bit of a Swiss Army knife in the way that they could be used in different, situations for both quarterbacks. That's why I feel like Eckler is a great grab this season. But for me, I'm going to go with what I know, and that's Jared Goff is going to throw it a shit ton to both Kupp, to both Woods, and to Higbee. So I feel like I would rather have that offense and rather have value there.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Higbee is, I mean, yes, we saw the late season breakout, but how many times have we seen a late season breakout from a player only to the next season then realize at that point, oh, maybe we were a little bit too early with this hype train. Maybe this is a little bit too big. Now, I do think that because he got the new contract, he is going to be somebody that they look to be a main component of that offense. But at the same time, the guy behind him, Gerald Everett, even though he's on a 1-year deal at this point, he was the tight end that was drafted by the coaching staff that's in place on the team. He is still ridiculously athletic, which, I mean, most top tight ends are. He's more athletic than Austin Higbee to a degree. So there's a lot of competition on that team that you might not think is going to impact Higbee. And we saw a lot of people kind of get on this tight end train. I think it was last year with O.J. Howard. Situation happened, things changed. O.J. Howard isn't that same player, but people really highly invested in him. And I think people are doing the same thing with Higbee because they're not really looking at the whole picture.
Well, and that's the thing, because there's so many late round tight ends that are interesting. I'm definitely Team Everett in terms of looking at ADP, especially with what we know, what Everett did before he got hurt. And I agree, he's a more athletic guy, but I will say it depends. Like, when Higbee does fall into that, I don't know, I haven't done that many drafts yet, to be honest, but like 8th, 9th, like when he's there, like I don't have a problem with it. Yes, I'm skeptical of like the 52 games played and he went on a 5-game tear. And yeah, he dominated. You do have to look though. He got the contract. They drafted Bryson Hopkins. So Gerald Everett might be on his way out. It's just such an interesting thing because Everett also was pretty good last year before he got hurt. And he was Sean McVay's first ever draft pick as the coach of the Rams, I'm pretty sure. So just because of that, like I'll take the discount. And also I don't want to gloss over Nate saying that he would take Keenan over Kupp, because I would too. Like I said, I'm the biggest Keenan fan in the world, but I guess I just need to make my take out there that like, I'm sorry, but like, I hate to say this to Keenan, but I'm out on him this year just because I don't really trust Tyrod to give him the reliable volume. That's why I'm more on that. I'll take Mike Williams later, because I actually do think, kind of like to Nate's point, like Mike Williams, he's a limited player, but he's very good at what he's good at. And that ties in with what Tyrod does, Aton, like you said. And if you look at some of those contested deep ball catches he caught last year, like 30, 40 yards downfield, I mean, the dude can play. So I'll take the discount because I'm just not as into the passing offense for the Chargers as I am with the Rams. And that was my whole point of I prefer the Rams overall.
But the thing is, if I'm – go ahead.
Go
ahead,
Nate. The one thing that I think that towards the beginning of the season, I was thinking people were overreacting on Jared Goff's season. But from the conversation we're having right now, I feel like you guys are underreacting to how bad Jared Goff was last season. His AYA dropped a full 1.5 yards from 8.5 to 7.0 in 2019. And he just wasn't the same quarterback we saw. He had 16 interceptions. And so, yes, he still has the weapons, and they improved the running back core. But are we sure Jared Goff is 2018, 2017 Jared Goff, or do you think, or is he more of what 2019 Jared Goff was?
We're not, but the thing that I am just trying to be much more about, like as I get older and as I learn, is like, because I'm doing this with the Niners too. Like even if they're like, I'm questionable on a player. Like, I know that I'm not just drafting Jared Goff. I'm drafting Sean McVay. And, look at what we thought of him a year ago. Like, he didn't all of a sudden become dust. Like, I'll take McVay because I think coaching matters so much in football over Anthony Lynn. I think he's still the coach, right? And it's the same thing. Like, I had to make a decision. Michael Pittman's my boy. Michael Pittman is my boy, but I took Brandon Ayuk over him in a dynasty startup, which killed me. But I was like, I have to side with Kyle Shanahan, which hasn't always worked out. But I think that coaching is an extra factor for me. And so whether Goff throws a ton of picks and isn't that good or not, look at what happened with Jameis last year. You throw a ton of picks, you still have to keep throwing. The fantasy goodness is still going to be there. So, whereas the Chargers will be ball control. We know that. We know who the coach is. We know their defense is going to be good, the type of quarterback that you have. I would ask you guys, what's the over-under on Tyrod starts? Because maybe that really answers this. Because I think I put it at like 11.5. I think he's going to start for most of the year.
Starts all 16, gets the Chargers into the playoffs, gets a 2-year extension. Herbert gets traded to the Dolphins.
Let's go. Herbert gets traded to the Packers.
Traded to the Jaguars.
Traded to the Broncos.
Hey! I don't know if Drew Lock is good, but I am hopeful. He's got all the tools. Some people need to chill with the hate. Drew Lock has a chance
to be bad.
Telling me there's
Drew Lock's situation is so good that we would just be hopeful that he's halfway decent, because if he is, he's throwing to open windows. That's my investment in Drew Lock.
Preach. I hope you're right. I like, as a Broncos fan, especially with COVID, we're playing for 2021 where we have to play against the God, Patrick Mahomes, maybe the best football player of all time. Yeah, I'll say it. So that sucks. But, karma's a B. We had Peyton Manning for 5 years, and now we have to, deal with Mahomes for 15. So,
but going back to the question that was asked, which was how many games does Tyrod Taylor start? It's okay. I'm going to keep us on track, people.
I appreciate you.
How many games Tyrod Taylor starts? I think that, he probably should start all 16, honestly. I'm kind of on that boat. I think that Justin Herbert is a quarterback that has all the tools. He's an extremely talented quarterback from a physical perspective. He's an extremely talented quarterback from an arm strength perspective. He at times show good ball placement. He's pretty mobile. He has pretty much all the stereotypical things you would want in a very good quarterback prospect. But his problem is consistency. His problem was being able to carry one great game into the next game, because he would do really, really well against one opponent and then kind of totally let you down against another one. And so you don't really know what kind of quarterback he is. That said, the reality of the situation is, if you're going to invest what you're going to invest in the NFL at this point, in a quarterback that's drafted as highly as Justin Herbert, you're going to start him as soon as possible, regardless of what kind of goes on with that team. If Tyrod Taylor loses one game, there's going to be question as to whether or not he should still be the person that's leading the team. And I don't think that that's going to go over the course of the season without at some point somebody pulling the plug and just deciding to go with Herbert.
This opened up something that I find really, really interesting. Looking at the Chargers 2020 schedule. Oh boy. So it really is not. No, it's surprisingly. And when you all were talking about Tyrod starting 16, I'm like, y'all need to go on somewhere and kick rocks. Like, y'all talking crazy, but it's likely going to happen. So it looks like they play the NFC South and the AFC East. They start the year with the Bengals week 1. Then they play the Chiefs. Hey, you got to deal with them, right?
Joey B.
Then they play Carolina week 3.
Ooh.
Tampa Bay week 4. And all of a sudden, that's 3 very winnable games, right? That you games that you're probably going to be in.
Tampa Bay is
going to be nice.
Carolina, even like with a quarterback that can throw the football, like a real life quarterback that can throw.
But that's my point, though. Like, he will start as long as they're competitive, and they're going to be pretty competitive. Denver's okay. Let's be real. Like, the Raiders are still trash. Like, come on. So that division is not as tough as the Rams. And then, just to go back to the original question, You look at the Rams defense. I kind of alluded to it. They have Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. Those are great players. After that, Michael Brockers, Leonard Floyd, their defense is like real bad, like real bad. So that helps with fantasy too. And fun fact, if Jared Goff gets hurt right now, if this is correct, John Wolford would be the starter. So I don't know why Bortles is not. I don't think he's on the team, but we need to get Blakey B. We need to get Blakey B back because if Jared Goff goes down, they have no backup plan right now.
That's bad.
Man,
That's bad.
This is fun.
Didn't Tyrod? I know he was taken out when 3 or 4 games in with the Browns, but didn't he get injured?
It was a concussion.
He got injured on Thursday night, and Mayfield came in.
Yeah. So and he was and the number 1 overall pick. So
and he had to deal with Hugh. So it's kind of like the Adam Gase thing, like how much of a Jeff Fisher Adam Gase thing, like how much did Hugh drag Tyrod down? Like Tyrod's he's serviceable. He's pretty good. So.
Yeah, but that's not the point. It's just the fact that he was taken out and kind of continues to have that happen to him over the course of his career just shows you that's all it takes. It takes one quarter concussion or one minor shoulder injury. The other guy comes in, and at that point, it's out of the bottle. You can't do anything, and you kind of have to go with what's already happened.
If he plays well, and we haven't even said it, it's obvious. I mean, I think everybody knows, but Anthony Lynn loves Tyrod Taylor. He coached him in Buffalo, right? So there's an extra incentive to play the guy if I could talk, if they're playing well, which I think that it's so crazy because we say it. Like, I feel like everybody said it every year. Oh, this is the Chargers year. Maybe Rivers, who, you want to talk about Jared Goff playing bad last year. I love Rivers. I have all the respect for him in the world. The dude was not good last year. I think that the ball control style with Tyrod might actually help their team better just because we know what Anthony Lynn wants to do and their defense. So I've said way too much. I'm going to stop talking. Nathan, I appreciate your Walmart hair.
Robert Woods, shout out to his hair.
I clicked this comment because it was too funny, but I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. It was so good.
So
Tyrod could literally play like what do they care? They're not. I don't know. Did they feel like they're in a position to win right away? I guess they might with like expiring contracts with Keenan, and their defense is great. Keenan expiring contract, Mike Williams coming up at the end of his ish, and Henry as well, I think, right?
Casey Hayward, Desmond King, Chris Harris, Derwin James, Denzel Perryman, Linval Joseph, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Their defense is got to be top 6 easy, and it might be better than that. So,
yeah, the defense is no doubt one of the best in the league, and there's a reason that they're going to be competitive. But I don't think Tyrod's that reason because I just don't think it's going to last all that long, regardless of what happens.
All right. Well, so if you're listening to Aton, because I guess I'm listening to myself and I'm like, why am I like afraid of Tyrod? Then if I think he's going to start this long and he'll be relevant for fantasy, so I might have to start taking him late in best ball. I don't know. But if you're listening to Aton, then don't because he's getting benched. So
and after those first 4 games I talk about, they've got the Saints in week 5, and then it gets really easy for a little bit, which I find this to be an interesting stretch if they struggle early, if they do go to Herbert, because they've got the Jets, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Raiders, and then they have a bye week in week 10. Is a very, very nice stretch of.
That's very friendly.
Yeah, so you just called it out. Week five, we see the change right there.
Yeah, but I'll be the millionth person to say it. COVID, right? Especially for a rookie quarterback, like there's not a chance in hell that Tyrod's getting benched before week 5. And then that stretch that you brought up, not a chance. He's not getting benched until after the bye. Like unless he gets hurt, I feel strong about that.
My take on when Tyrod gets benched has 0.0 to do with how Tyrod plays. It's their win-loss record. As soon as they decide that we're not a playoff contender, we're out. Right. And I think that they could find out they're not a playoff contender decently quickly.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
And it may not even be until then. It might just be he misses a quarter due to some random thing, and we're done here.
we see bad teams every year not actually get mathematically eliminated, and the coaches are going to do everything that they can until they're mathematically eliminated until week 13, 14, 15, 16, and now you throw an extra playoff team on top of that. Like, they're going to be in playoff contention, whatever their record looks like for most of the season. So
let me ask this, and this will be more fun. And I really hope that Nate Hamilton is not listening to this, because he is not a Tyrod Taylor fan at all.
Oh yeah, no.
He always says how Tyrod Taylor needs to be working at a Golden Corral.
Pull up me and Nate's DMs. No, yeah, I've let him know I disagree with that.
Love you, Nate. That's my guy. I like Nate. But,
Same.
You remember that game? He was like him and Denley were talking about how he needs to be working for Golden Corral. Anywho, that's it's just funny.
Shout out to my guys.
Nostalgia. Real quick, so and before we completely leave LA, I want to play a quick game with you all. NFL stat leaders from 2019. I'm looking at the quarterbacks, and we talked about how not great Jared Goff was last season. Jared Goff still passed for the third most yards in the league last year.
With the most pass attempts.
Right. Yes.
Well, what's going to change this year?
Jameis, right?
That they added another day 2 running back. That's what's going to change.
and their defense is still Cottonelle soft, so they're going to have to throw.
I mean, it's weird because with quarterbacks, honestly, like, volume is the thing that drives everything in fantasy, right? Volume is what gets you where you want to go. Volume equals fantasy points for almost every position except kind of for the quarterback position, because efficiency over time will get you benched. Throwing interceptions over time will get you benched. That's the quickest way to not be a starting quarterback in the NFL, no matter what you do. Jameis Winston is that example. It doesn't matter how much good you do. People have that bias towards whatever's the bad thing that happened to happen on that play or in that game, so on and so forth. So with Jared Goff, it's an issue of they're just going to be forced to have the volume, and they have a contract for the next 2 to 3 seasons that pretty much guarantees that he's on that team, because the alternative would just be more and more dead cap, and they've already spent so much on the dead cap with Todd Gurley and with the other players like Brandon Cooks that they've let go on that team, that right now they're just trying to reset to zero. So Jared Goff is going nowhere, and as long as he's there, he has Sean McVay, and you're going to get the volume that's going to get you there regardless of what he does.
So how well do we remember 2019? I know 2020 has done a really ugly number on us. It's knocked us about. It's said mean things to us. And here we are still standing somehow. How well do we remember 2019?
What, the top two?
Jared Goff.
I feel like I remember good moments, like me winning the championship last year in one of my leagues. That was super sweet. And I cried when Aaron Jones got those 2 touchdowns. Like, I cried. I don't
Anybody
cry.
want to shout out right now?
Sam.
Champion of the Sunday Funday League, and Andrew can go eat a bag of dicks because I beat him. So.
Oh damn! See, I told you guys not to let me
bags of dicks on this show.
Sorry,
J Mike, are you going at 1 and 2? Is that what you're hitting at?
I was about to, yes.
Okay.
And I want to also know what you guys think about who's behind him too. So Ben, do you already know Ben?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think I might. So I want to get my guesses in quick. Dak Prescott and Jameis Winston for most passing yards.
Very good. Ben called the game. Ben cheated the game. Nathan Powell, you lose yet another game.
Let me share my screen. I swear on my life, I wasn't looking.
No, you're good.
I'm looking. I cheat every game.
I knew Dak was up there, and Jameis just, his season, whatever.
So let me ask you all this. There were 11 quarterbacks to pass for 4,000 yards last year. 11 quarterbacks to pass for at least 4,000 yards this year. Right now, we already have 1, 2, and 3. Jameis, Dak, Jared Goff.
Oh, wow.
We'll just keep going in a circle till you all name them. I'm curious how well you all remember 2019.
I know one that did it without a more than a 500-yard wide receiver.
Ben, you can get us started.
Okay, good, because then I won't know shit. Carson Wentz,
number 9. Very good.
Cousins.
On you.
Oh, sorry.
What was the question?
Unbelievable.
Can you ask me
Absence
the
makes
question
the
one
heart
more
go
time?
fonder, huh?
My goodness, there were rules to this game.
Hey,
My
hey,
bad.
hey, he was too busy looking at his bat phone.
Yeah, my work phone blowing up. You gonna make me start clapping and talking at you on a podcast.
Yes, go ahead.
So there were 11 quarterbacks in 2019 who passed for more than 4,000 yards. We already named 3 of them.
Carson Wentz,
Jameis, Dak, and Goff. I was asking you to name the others. Carson Wentz was the one that Ben just said at number 9.
No, I said Carson Wentz was just said.
And now my brain completely blacks out after this.
So if for those doing math at home, thank you, Gabe, for teaching the youth of America math. That will be 7 left because we've got 4 off the board.
4,000 yards.
4,000 yards in 20.
Nate already said one too that he didn't hear.
That might be wrong though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's right or wrong, to be honest.
We'll find out, Nate. I don't trust your gaming record though. So
Wait, whose turn is it?
It's
Russell
8
Wilson.
times. He's just kind of staring. Okay, yes, Russell Wilson, number 6 last season. Sam.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, number 4 last season. So the LA duo were 3 and 4 last season in passing yards. How about that? Gabe.
What was the question?
Did you shower today?
Or no, he probably missed some games.
I think
Probably
he
missed too many games.
missed
Breeze wouldn't make it because he missed too many games, huh?
I think so, yeah.
Gee whiz. Blah blah blah.
I only have one name left, and then
Another bad team that passed the ball a lot last season.
Another bad team that passed the ball.
He was also sacked a bunch.
Oh my god!
I think I have it.
Come on,
too.
Gabe.
That just gave it
You want
away,
me to
yeah.
pick you, Gabe?
No, I don't have it. Not me. I was gonna. What about Deshaun? Was Deshaun there?
Deshaun Watson not in the game. No, sir. Deshaun, I would look it up, but I've already moved on from that page. Sorry. I've only got the top 11 now. Mr. Powell.
Well, I think I'm wrong now, but I'll throw it out anyways. It's Cousins.
Cousins on the list. Nathan Powell looks again. No, I'm just kidding. Ben.
I think I know 2. I'm gonna go.
We're going round one at a time. You can't say 2 because then you're going to take one from.
No, I'm not saying 2. I'm trying to figure out.
Don't mess with the rules.
Matt
Go
Ryan.
taking a shower in the middle of the game. Come on.
Matt Ryan. Wait, Matt Ryan got hurt too. Matt Ryan. I'll say Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan, number 5 last season. That was a really bad team that threw the ball a lot last year.
Is that what
we got 4 guys left.
Yeah.
I think you guys will probably get 2 more.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray not on the list, although he was sacked a bunch last year, tied for the league leading 48.
That's what I was going with. Yeah.
Sam Holt.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, number 8 on the list. Well done, Sam.
Wow.
3 guys left. We've got
You
number
said
7.
he was sacked a lot and was bad.
There's a common theme here.
And also, you have to think like who started 16 games or 15 games.
Right.
Yeah. So the best part about this is all of these quarterbacks played in at least 14 games or more. Gabe, do you have any other guesses?
How about Fitz? Did he get there?
Oh shit!
Ryan Fitzpatrick did not make the list. I'm sorry.
So your 14 game thing just gave away the answer. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes was number 10.
I was afraid. I didn't know. Did he make it? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 10, Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
At 4,031 yards. So for those who keep record at home, 2 guys left. One who threw for 4,057 yards and one who threw for 4,002 yards. John Hogue would be upset with all of you right now.
I feel like Tom Brady definitely threw for 4,000.
Tom Brady is on the list, number 7 last season. Again. And last but not least, we need number 11.
Let's bring it home, Aton.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron A.A. Rodgers.
Oh, shit.
4,002 yards last season. Well done, y'all. You did a lot better at that game than I thought you would.
Yeah.
Well done.
Take that, J. Mike.
Put that in your pipe and smoke
it. Honestly, Nathan, the fact that you threw out Cousins that quick, like that's impressive because I did not think he'd make he because
he was wrong. No, he was wrong.
Oh, I thought okay. All right. Never mind.
It was impressive how quickly you were wrong.
All right. Nathan, you keep shopping at Walmart.
That was Ben tossing you some shade there. Accidental shade. I like that. There's another thing I do want to talk about, at least football related, and we can get into whatever else other nonsense that we have or what that you all want to talk about. I'm excited to hear about those things too. Last thing I want to talk about, again, keeping with the list that we had going there, Chris Godwin, now the 1A or 1B. I don't want to offend anybody here if they happen to be a Godwin stan. But here at this podcast, we are a what does Mike Evans have to do for some respect on his name.
I'm on the right podcast tonight. Here we go.
Very good. You found
am I allowed to say I like them both, or is this the world we live in?
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. You can like them both. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's the reasonable answer that most people can't admit.
We like both.
People really like their stances with those two. I don't know why. Anywho, Chris Godwin. I've currently got him on a team, and it's a team that I'm rebuilding in Dynasty. And I'm blowing stuff up. Eitan, you might know this team very well.
I've tried so many times.
It's in the league that we're in.
This is a hurtful story for me, actually.
I haven't traded him. I haven't traded him yet. I'm just curious because I think I have a decent value or a decent idea of where I see his value. Because we talked about young wide receivers last week. This is a rebuilding team, so Godwin's the type of guy you want to keep. But I'm also really in the business of trying to be able to capitalize on the crazy value that he's bringing right now. I believe that in August ADP, shout out to the good folks over at DLF, where we run DLF, Gabe and I here at the Open Bar. Right. We are owners of DLF. Thank you, Ryan McDowell. Appreciate you. Just kidding, everybody, for those confused.
Oh, so this is news to me.
Ben and Nathan about
he's like, Ryan's what? They sold it?
No, it's our running gag with Matt Price. Anyway, it's a long story. Chris got you had to be there, Nathan.
Let's get into it, J Mike.
Yeah. So once upon a time, Chris Godwin, wide receiver. Excuse me, he's player number 17 overall, which is good enough in the wide receiver ranks. Drum roll, please, as it's loading. Wide receiver. 5.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 5. Player number 17.
Let's be honest. That's yes. Crazy. That's crazy.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it though?
Yes. And listen, I love Chris Godwin. I loved him watching film coming out of Penn State. Love him. He was incredible last year. But Jameis was it's the Jared Goff thing. Like Jameis was so good for fantasy. He did exactly what you wanted. Interception, kept being aggressive. Tom Brady is 73 years old. He's going to come in. They're going to play like the Chargers. They're going to play somewhat but somewhat ball control. You've now got Gronk coming in. OJ Howard still can play. I still firmly believe that. He's not incredible, but he can play. You still got Evans. You know, there's so many guys there, and the volume is going down. I just think, like, I love Godwin, 3rd round pick, but he's being taken in like the middle of the second, and honestly, it blows my mind. I just think that's a little aggressive, and I think it's recency bias. He's a good player, but so I guess it correlates with what you're saying, J Mike, like sell high, because I don't think he has the season that he had last year. He's a great player, but it's a different situation in Tampa. They're trying to win a Super Bowl, and they're going to win games more conservatively, 27-24, 21-17.
I will say, as the Buccaneers fan here, that I do think that some of the volume numbers are going to go down because Brady's not going to be as reckless as Jameis was.
Right.
But from a dynasty startup perspective, I don't think Chris Godwin was being overdrafted in the mid-second.
I was talking redraft. I just
okay. Yeah. Redraft. Okay, yeah.
Dynasty, fine.
Yeah, no, Dynasty is good, but yes, from a redraft, there is some concern with just a decrease in targets or a decrease in volume with Tom Brady at the helm, and of course now they have all the Sal. There we go, Sal. But to speak to J Mike's original question about selling Chris Godwin and Dynasty startup, I am of the frame of mind that if you're rebuilding a Dynasty startup, you shouldn't want to own any players that are being drafted in the first 24 to 36, picks, because you should be using those top 3 rounds of type assets to build more depth. People rebuild through depth, not through, basically having 2 or 3 good assets. When you have a limited amount of good assets, you got to turn those, small number of assets to more assets.
I will say, though, in favor of Chris Godwin, I mean, you mentioned that Gronk's on the team. Obviously, O.J. Howard's on the team at tight end, and one of those is going to be the third target on that team, you would assume. I mean, Gronkowski's been hurt throughout a lot of his career. He's coming back healthy now, we think, but I mean, we really don't know what that means. And then we've already seen Bruce Arians not really want to use O.J. Howard in the passing game. There's really no third receiver on that team of notice. I mean, that's really going to challenge for a lot of volume. I mean, say what you want about Tyler Johnson. I think he was drafted there, and he had a lot of buzz before then, but, I mean, that's unproven at this point. So if you're looking for a team that maybe you'll see the volume go down, but there's a concentrated target share going to be to a few players, then you're looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and those targets are going to be valuable targets because – we expect this team to be better than it was last year. We expect this team to be better in the red zone than it was last year and not to make the types of mistakes that caused them to really have those crazy, crazy games. We've already seen Brady be very, very comfortable with slot receivers. That said, I think that argument is said a lot. If you look at the Patriots rosters of the last few seasons, who else is on that team other than slot receivers?
Still out there, and I feel like we're just completely just acting like Gronk didn't join the team. I mean, Gronk's 29. Like the dude can still play.
Like Brady can make receivers valuable. We've seen it happen over and over again in new circumstances with how often everything changes in with the Patriots in terms of how often they turn over that roster at wide receiver because they can't really draft well at wide receiver.
Yeah, and to be fair, to turn it around, because I'm getting us off rails all the time. The question is about dynasty, and like dynasty's complete. I kind of wanted to throw out just how ridiculous I think it is at redraft, but Godwin is such a good player from dynasty. Like I respect Kevin, the FF engineer, so much. He's thrown it. I mean, like when you have an elite asset like this, I totally get what you're saying, Nathan, and it makes sense, especially in leagues where, and I feel like probably the majority of our dynasty leagues are pretty big benches, and of course, pretty big starting lineups with multiple flexes and stuff like that. Like you need relevant pieces. To make it through the season, especially a season like this. So I get the depth thing, but it depends on your league. There's some that, if the starting lineups are a little bit less, those elite assets are still big. And like, I don't know, it's tough for me to trade guys. Like I said, I still love Godwin, the player. So from a dynasty perspective, it would be really hard for me to trade him. Even if I didn't think my team was that good, I'd be looking for at least 2 firsts. I'd be trying to get a player. I like what, because I've made a video. I'm really into McCole Hardman's dynasty value. Somebody like that is maybe like not a throw-in anymore because everybody knows how good he is, but, a couple of firsts plus a guy like that. Like if somebody's thirsty enough for Godwin, like, you keep making offers and keep having conversations, I'd be trying to get like 3 really good, like pretty solid pieces. Obviously, if a first or 2, people want to sell these first now because there's no college football or whatever. I'm still really into this draft class next year. All these wide receivers should be studs, so I'm still very interested in those picks.
The problem.
I'm sorry, Eitan. You can keep going ahead if you're piggybacking off of Ben, because it's still my question's a little more about Godwin still, but it's a kind of a different vein.
Yeah, just one last thing about Godwin. I mean, the problem with selling a young wide receiver that is probably ranked in the top 5, like Chris Godwin, is, I mean, if you're selling him for picks primarily, then you're going to make that team that you sell him to a lot better. So those picks are going to be immediately devalued the moment that you press that send button for Chris Godwin, if picks is what you're after. And if you're looking for getting a player from him, I just think that his value is kind of at the point that the value you would want for him would be off-putting to potential suitors. And even if you were to kind of get that trade to the table, like it would have to be so sided in your favor for you to actually hit accept and be okay with it, that it almost makes it kind of one of those things where he's on ice. that you kind of just need to hold on to what you have right now, because it is still an asset that can improve and can increase in value over time. And it's already an asset that's kind of at the top of the tower right now. It's like a Juju Smith-Schuster. Even if a season happens and everything goes wrong for Chris Godwin, he's still going to be valued very highly the next year.
Yeah, preach. It'd have to be a package deal. It'd have to be players and picks for sure.
I want to talk about next year with Godwin. Would you be happier with Godwin in Tampa Bay, or if he were to somehow sign somewhere else, which I think is kind of possible because he does become a free agent after this year, and the Bucks are in bad shape after what they just did in this offseason to acquire, everything. So, I think they would try to keep him, but I'm just like, hypothetically, would you want him still on the Bucks with whatever Brady does? Is he still there next year? Is he bad because he's 48 at that time or 70, whatever age he is? And then, or would you rather just kind of roll the dice and hope that he lands somewhere else just based off of his talent? Because I think that's typically where we preside with wide receivers, is talent versus the landing spot.
Go ahead, Sam.
Sorry, no, I mean, off of that and what J. Mike said in the comments that 24 is the new 32. I'm 32, so what does that make me? I think that makes me like 45.
24.
But,
Mama Hope. Oh, horrible.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah, perfect. No, but I mean, for me, like, I like the idea of them moving him. Obviously, I feel like he could have value other places. I mean, we brought up the Ravens earlier and the Seahawks earlier. I think it would be great to see him in other offenses that have, quarterbacks that are full in on that position. Lamar would be even better to me because he's also young. So, he could use another veteran receiver in him. And I feel like that would be an interesting combo. But to me, I feel like he still holds value with the Bucks. I mean, Brady's there to win. So he's not there to just be a filler. So he's going to be there to win. He's going to be there to be efficient. My only thing with Godwin and Evans really is that I feel like they're capped more this year than last year. Obviously, Jameis Winston and Tom Brady are two different quarterbacks. They're just different. I mean, kind of hard to figure out exactly what makes them different. But, one's like, the best of all time, and one just throws a lot and not always to his teammates. So I feel like with how accurate Tom Brady is, you have a floor. Like, they're gonna have pretty split targets, and they're gonna have a really high amount of receptions, which you love in PPR, but I think they're kind of capped at touchdowns. So that to me is why I'm not leaping at them in drafts this year. I mean, if Godwin falls to me, I will take him 100% because that you have that efficiency. However, I just feel like their overall touchdowns are going to regress just because they've got so many options there in Tampa Bay. And I mean, Brady's even, does the quarterback sneak once in a while a year, he does a couple. So I just feel like that, to me, that's what knocks them.
And that's kind of the argument that people use to kind of put down Mike Evans, so to speak. They say that, okay, well, the touchdowns are going to be limited, or at least more limited than they have been, and that these drives aren't going to be as crazy. They're not going to have to run as many plays, so on and so forth, and that's going to really limit his impact in the box score. But the thing is, he's also been receiving really, really difficult, really low amounts of catchable targets. Sure. When James Winston is actually out there and he's throwing the ball. Now he's going to be receiving targets at a rate and targets in a way that are a lot easier to bring down. The issue with Mike Evans to date has been he's been one of these receivers that is boom this week, and then the next week, he gets 17 targets. None of them are actually on target, and kind of you're sitting there with 9 points. Now, instead of getting those 30-point weeks, maybe you're going to get like a constant 16, 17, pretty much week in, week out, because he's going to be getting a lot more catchable targets as the number one receiver on that team.
Sure, which, I mean, you would love to have as your wide receiver 2, but you don't really want to have as your wide receiver 1 those numbers week to week. You want to err on the side of caution and try and get a little bit more. So, I mean, I'm not saying that those points are bad. Those are great, consistent points, and you kind of were upset about having him as a boom or bust receiver so high on your team. But to me, like, if I'm getting him for what I know I'm going to get out of him, and I'm going to try and shore up that position with another receiver that I feel like is going to have a higher potential for a boom.
And Brady loves the slot, yes. But you also have to look at the players, right? Like one game with Antonio Brown, it was Antonio Brown balled out. He made Josh Gordon, okay, he's talented, but Josh Gordon was pretty relevant on the outside with Brady. He made Philip Dorsett Okay, when Philip Dorsett got playing time, Philip Dorsett put up numbers with Brady on the outside. Like Brady's still, because I feel like I'm, if you can't tell, I'm a little down, kind of like what Sam said, just on the volume overall and things like that. But you can get Evans cheaper, and again, as everybody knows, he's never had fewer than 1,000 yards. And Brady's, this isn't just a Brady loves the slot, so it's Gronk, Godwin, and OJ Howard, and that's it. No, like Brady is the best of all time for a reason. He is going to get the ball to Mike Evans just fine, as long as his body doesn't die, which we'll say for the 12th year in a row. So
Brandon Cooks had 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like we've seen him.
He had
pretty recently.
I will say, in regard to the question about how Chris Godwin might walk in free agency, the Bucks are projected to have $16 million in cap space, 11th in the NFL. I don't see them letting him walk. I think they tag him and then at the very least try and trade him if they're going to do that. But I honestly think they're going to try and keep both Godwin and Evans long term, whether that's with Brady or without, past Brady. And to answer Kevin's question, between two white switches, this is now the podcast between two white switches. There we go.
and the thing with that comparison as well is,
oh my God,
Mike Evans actually has no dead cap remaining on his contract. So if there is a receiver that is going to be departing that team anytime soon, even though we're waiting on a Chris Godwin contract, Mike Evans would be the easier one to kind of move because he'd be a really easy trade asset, and you'd still have the ability to then use that money and go ahead and sign Chris Godwin, probably to a deal that is slightly lower than I think the 16 to 18 million that Mike Evans is on a year-to-year basis anyway.
Even when we try to say something nice about Mike Evans, it still just turns into a bad conversation.
I love Mike Evans, but right now in Dynasty, I am trying to trade Mike Evans.
What's a team that would change your mind on that, though? What if he landed somewhere like with the Texans?
Good question.
All the data that
That's
we've
what I
seen
mean
so
about
far
Godwin.
is when these wide receivers change teams, that initial year after they change teams, they take a hit. And Mike Evans is kind of at the age where you don't have a year to wait to hope that this guy can reintegrate into an offense, even if it happens to be on a team with a quarterback that you think is going to get him there. It just takes time to learn different schemes, learn different playbooks. And at this point, I don't want to be the one holding on to an asset that I know is probably maybe worth more than it actually is on the market. But at the same time, if you don't really get out now, I don't think you're going to get much of an opportunity to later on.
I will say one of the things that I think that the fantasy community is terrible at is predicting future transactions.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to set, or if we're trying to make the assumption that Mike Evans is a cap casualty at some point, I think that is a bit of an assumption. So it's a possibility, sure, but I wouldn't say go trade Mike Evans because he's going to be a cap casualty. And when he goes to his second team, players lose value when they go to their second team.
I just have to say that because I have not been playing Dynasty for that long, and my Dynasty knowledge and everything, it's still getting there. But why are we trying to trade elite wide receivers in Dynasty? I'm kind of confused here. Like you obviously want elite wide receivers in Dynasty, and I don't know. J Mike, definitely don't. I'm just going to give you a definitive answer. Definitely don't sell Godwin. Do not sell Godwin. And Evans, it depends on what you can get for him, but.
If you're getting wide receivers back for Godwin, I think it's okay to sell Godwin. If you're getting Terry McLaurin and DJ Chark and maybe a first on top of that, or maybe a second on top of that.
That's a package.
If somebody will give you that, then yeah, do it. Okay.
Yeah, if someone's going to give you their team for him, sure.
But even if it's a second round pick, it's something that at least you can consider. And at that point, you're not losing anything when it comes to age. You still have that time to build your team and bookend it with guys that are going to be productive later on in their careers. So you have that 1 or 2 years that it takes to rebuild, and you can hold these guys on your roster without them losing value. So it just depends the assets that you're trading Chris Godwin for. If you get the right
100%,
then you're okay with that.
100%. It all depends on what you can get for sure.
All I gotta say is trade Chris Godwin for Mike Williams. There you go. It was a joke, Ben. Relax.
Because my brain just went back to the whole Robert Woods, Mike Williams thing, and I'm still like, my brain still can't take that. Because Robert Woods is my guy. So
yeah, there you go.
You personally offended Ben in the first 5 minutes of the podcast when you said Mike Williams over Robert Woods.
I wanted to say too when Eitan said look at wide receivers that change teams, I was like, ask Robert Woods that when he went from Buffalo to LA. All right, I'm gonna stop.
I mean, I can also say the same thing about tons of other wide receivers out there that have changed teams. Like it's,
I know. So
even what we would expect from DeAndre Hopkins this year.
What do we think about DeAndre Hopkins exactly?
Okay.
Man.
Yeah. What about it? He's pretty. What is he in Dynasty? Still a top 5 wide receiver.
Look how people are looking at Stephon Diggs.
Probably the same in redraft. Do we think he?
I don't have a data. I really don't have a data take because I think his volume will go down. But I already said earlier in the show, I think Arizona in year 2 with Cliff and Kyler are going to make the playoffs. Like I think their defense is good enough with Chandler Jones and Peterson and a couple other guys. Obviously, they drafted Isaiah Simmons. I think their offense is going to be bomb. I think it's going to be banging. I think everything's
going to be a banger.
It is, and yes, they run a lot of wide receivers, and I like Christian Kirk too. But like, I think the DeAndre Hopkins switching teams and is just not going to be good. Like, I think it's jumped the shark. I'm in on him. I like him.
No, I think he's going to be great. I just don't think he still has the top 3 upside that he had last season.
So where's he being drafted at though? Because he's not being drafted at that though. Like, can't you get him like wide? Like,
he's still in a lot of places going off as the 3rd wide receiver off the board, and I think that's premature.
Are we talking dynasty or redraft?
Redraft.
Well,
redraft.
Redraft. That's probably the case. Just for the sake of because I've got to pull it up here. In dynasty, he's wide receiver 6. Wide receiver 6. So Godwin, DJ Moore, and Tyreek all ahead of him.
I'm still in on him, but wide receiver 3. If it is wide receiver 3, that's a little too much. But if I can get him like middle of the 2nd round, I think you can do that in some drafts, can't you? I would take him there.
Well, yeah, especially in redraft honestly, redraft and dynasty are both so RB heavy that Hopkins, a guy who really should be going in the mid 1st, is going in the mid 2nd.
It's pushing all these receivers down, yeah, for sure.
Let me slide this in real quick. Sam, would you go Nick Chubb or DeAndre Hopkins?
I mean,
and we'll say for this
I'm
season,
looking at another ADP calculator here, and it's got Chubb at 9. I'm going running back heavy in a lot of my drafts this year, so I would probably go Nick Chubb if that's where I'm landing and that's what's available. I'm going to take Nick Chubb just because running back just drops off too quickly for me, and I know that there's so much depth at receiver. But I am really high on Hopkins this year. I feel like he's going to be used a lot. I feel like it's going to be there's just going to be a high volume with Kyler there. And I mean, I see year 2 Hopkins there being better? Absolutely. But he's such a talented playmaker. He just can extend the play. He can literally catch anything thrown at him any which way. So I feel like he's such a talented receiver. That's not changing. Like, he's still talented. So I feel like, to me, if you can get him in the mid 2nd, that's a fantastic grab. But yeah, I mean, if I had to pick right there, Nick Chubb or Hopkins, I'd go with Chubb.
Agree with literally everything you just said. Like, yes, he goes from Deshaun Watson to Kyler, which maybe is a little bit of a downgrade, but we do remember that he balled out with Tom Savage.
Yeah.
The only year that he didn't was with Osweiler, but
TJ Yates,
Brian Hoyer.
I'm not discounting Hopkins. I'm just saying opportunity cost. Hopkins or Kittle? For me, it's Kittle, and I don't think it's particularly close.
I love Kittle, and I would supply and demand Nick Chubb for sure. And I'm just so in on Kittle this year, it's not even funny. So I would put Hopkins 3rd.
It's funny if you laugh.
Yeah, you don't have to be so angry when you click draft. It's okay.
Happy.
Give me George Kittle, damn it! Give me a touchdown this year.
And then I broke my phone because I drafted too hard.
I can't believe this mess, man. I quit.
That's how I would feel if I didn't get George Kittle in the draft. So I mean, it happens. You got to take your anger out somehow.
It pumps you up.
No, but I mean that's where I'm at with it. Like, I'm not taking anything away from DeAndre Hopkins. It's just a matter of what you're going to have to give up to be able to take him at, as Kevin just said, wide receiver 3 in dynasty auction value. Like, people still really, really highly rate this. And for me in dynasty and anything that I'm really doing in the fantasy space, if I can try, and maybe this is a falsehood, this is not something you can really do, but if I can try and limit the uncertainty from season to season, I'm going to do that as much as I can. I'm going to go for the guy that's in the same system with the same coach that's probably going to be given a similar workload. rather than going with a guy that's just going to be in a situation that I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will say one thing I liked about the Hopkins move is that it made all of the Cardinals wide receivers amazing values in Dynasty.
Yeah,
I think it made Kirk an easy buy, and even more so, like Andy Isabella is free. Andy Isabella had some flashes in the rookie year to make you think this guy is a solid wide receiver 2 long term. And I think that people are sleeping on Isabella. People are still drafting Kirk fairly high, but also I feel like people are still are saying he's clearly like going to be a wide receiver 2, where he could end up being, more of like a 1A, 1B situation.
Nate, I love that you said that because I like Kirk a lot in both redraft and dynasty. Fitzgerald's so old. Isabella is straight up free. I think the dude can play. We just watched DJ Chark go from 100-yard receiving year in his rookie year to over 1,000. That's one of the things that excites me the most about Arizona's offense. You look at their team, their RB3 is Eno Benjamin, who's pretty good, and who Lance Zierlein, who does all the NFL.com stuff, projected he'd be a 3rd-round pick. He fell to the 7th. You've got their wide receiver 4 as Andy Isabella, their wide receiver 5, depending on Keyshawn Johnson, but Hakeem Butler, who didn't get to play last year because he was hurt, was a 4th-round pick just last year. He's just chilling on the end of their bench. Like, they have playmakers, and I know that there's some Dan Arnold truthers out there. So
I'm one of those.
Hey, Dan Arnold. This offense, even if they lose a guy or two, and to your point, Nathan, you can get a guy like especially in Dynasty Isabella. Yeah, like that's what you do, right? Is you buy cheap on good offenses with good coaches that you feel like you can trust in Dynasty a little bit. Plus, I also think Isabella's good. So
I think there's a definite parallel between guys like Christian Kirk and guys like Michael Gallup this year, because there's a new person in that system, because people always like the shiny new object in the room, but at the same time, I do think there's a lot of value there. As to Nathan's point, just because a new guy came doesn't necessarily mean everything is going to change. If they've already shown they can play, and Michael Gallup and Christian Kirk have shown that they're good receivers when they're actually healthy, then I think that you kind of have to go with some veteran deference in some respect to these guys, just because we've seen them produce already.
Preach.
And don't forget about Keyshawn Johnson.
I said his name.
No, we can forget about Keyshawn Johnson. We don't need to remember him.
I thought it was fun that he got to start last year. There was like a blip of happiness that he might be a thing.
I just want to know what round that Larry Fitzgerald and Frank Gore go in the 2030 Dynasty, whatever it is we're doing at that point.
Do we need board bets on Larry Fitzgerald versus Frank Gore this year?
I cannot believe I did this, but I literally drafted Larry Fitzgerald in a best ball the other day because it was like the like the 16th round. I was like, you know what? Screw it. He's gonna give me some production. It's Larry Fitzgerald, so
yeah. You're gonna get 3 really good games from him.
Hey, and I don't have to predict them. So
yep. All right, quick transition. All right, we're gonna do a draft mid-show. Okay, just came up with this. All right. Since we're talking about showers, right? You want to talk about showers? Let's talk about some showers. We're going to talk about the things that are inside of your shower. All right. What's your go-to? Like, what is your? I don't know. When you're thinking about a shower, you're like, man, I could really wash my hair right now. Or like, me, my armpits are just like disgusting, and I'm like, man, first thing I hit. Body wash. So just pick. It could be an instrument too. Don't get freaky.
This is gonna get real revealing really quickly.
Well, I said, look.
How many things can you use in the shower?
We're about to find out now.
It's about to get really weird, really fast.
Ben, what kind of shower? What kind of showers are you taking? And we could just do anything involved with a shower in general. Right, because we see this here. Is it okay to pee in the shower?
No.
We don't necessarily have to talk about that right now, but that could be one of the things if that's what you want in your draft. Just something that you enjoy in the shower. Be careful, but something that your go-to in the shower could be yeah. So the reason why The reason why we stopped here to do this is because Sam mentioned to us that she was only able to kick it with us for a little bit. So
you want to get this answer real quick before I head out?
I needed this before you left. So
this is the question I'm going to answer before I head out. Oh,
so you are the 101 in this draft. But hold on, we always do this with it's some sort of analogy. So pick your device or
why do you have to say device?
I don't know. I'm just trying to like be.
You said
Oh my God.
But what do you call shampoo? What do you call shampoo and conditioner? What do you call that? Like, what do you actually call those? Like in a general term?
Wow.
Like
I feel like this is an obvious
toiletry.
word.
That's it. Okay, toiletry. Yeah.
Toiletry sounds way better than device. I mean,
Well,
that's kind of open-ended. Like I'm taking a taser in the shower with me, guys. Like I just like to live dangerous. What?
Okay, look. No, there's loofahs. There are razors. There are things in the there. Beers. Okay.
Beers. Yeah, shower beers are always great.
So you're a device, an object, or a toiletry. That is what you're choosing for this draft. Your go-to in a shower that just is your jam, and then you're comparing that to a player in the 2020 season. So,
all right.
I love this so much.
Okay, so I'm picking something that I use in the shower, and then to pair it with a football player in fantasy. Okay. All right. Well, I guess for this,
around to toiletries. Couldn't bring it around to I'm sorry.
Between devices, we somehow missed toiletries.
Sam, go for it, Sam. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's your show.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay. Well, I think that I'm gonna pick shampoo because it's classic. You need it every time, and if you are not using it, there's something wrong with you. But I think I'm gonna go with shampoo, and I think that the 101 for consistency and like what you know what you're gonna get out of it is gonna be Michael Thomas. I think that's a fantastic analogy right there. Of he's the shampoo. Like you don't want to not have him in the shower with you. Like that's a fantastic combo. I'm gonna take him in the shower with me every time.
Strong.
Me and Michael Thomas getting it done.
That is
You're
amazing.
welcome.
That is If that's not
on
that
that
moment, I don't know what is.
On that note, Sam, we think you would do.
Yeah.
I apologize to those bald men that don't use shampoo in the shower. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
Man.
But I mean, if you have a beard, you don't use something like that in your beard. Like,
Got to.
I don't have a beard, so I don't know the rules. But
It's a must.
It's a must. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, you need to. It starts smelling.
Like onions.
Yeah, you don't want to peel that back. All right,
Don't
Sam,
come back.
we're gonna let you.
You're gonna let me go after peeling back the beard. I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. You always got to time things appropriately here on the open bar. Feel free to share whatever you need to share before you leave us men to talk about devices.
Probably leaving at the right time then. No, thanks guys for having me. This was so much fun. I love getting to spend time with all of you and meet you guys that I just talked to on Twitter. So now we're best friends and that makes it awesome. But if you guys want to follow me, I'm at Samantha R. Holt on Twitter, at Sam_awesome on Instagram. And I'm a part of the Fantasy Focused crew. That's ED_D on Twitter. And give us a subscribe on YouTube if you can. I have my show with my co-host Derek Tate on Saturdays. We're the Fantasy Debate, and we have been doing ADP studies. We just did part 1 of a wide receiver ADP study. So check that out. We've got part 2 coming up. So lots to go through as wide receivers are crazy deep this year. So yeah, please give us a subscribe and give me a follow.
Appreciate you, Sam.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Tuesday. This was awesome.
Yep.
Enjoy your devices and I'll catch you later.
The worst, Sam. The worst.
Bye.
All right, so I'm gonna go now. So I think
hold on a second. A couple things as we go, as I had to gather myself when I walked away. I'm not letting you get away with the fact that you said you were a Dan Arnold truther. I'm gonna come back to that at some point. Either we're gonna have this discussion offline.
It's like an Albert Wilson truther. Like it doesn't even have to be like a real thing. It's just it's hope for mankind for me with Dan Arnold. So like that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, and that's the first thing. The second thing, real quick, and this is all what's happening as I was away as well. So we said it's not okay to. I think Ben, you said it's not okay to pee in the shower, but it is okay to have a shower beer.
I didn't say that, but I mean, I would agree with that though. I've had a shower beer before. It's been a while.
Okay.
I do think that beer and piss are a little different. They're the same color, but you know they're a little different.
So, like,
nobody's asking you to drink the shower beer.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with one and I disagree with the other.
Okay, fair enough. A-Town, I'm sorry, you were saying.
I'm just gonna go with a Razor, and I think Marcus Mariota reminds me of a Razor because he's about to be the reason that Derek Carr gets cut in a year, and I think that bang. Basically, they're replacing Derek Carr with the same quarterback as Derek Carr, which is what Marcus Mariota is, which for me just is a whole lot of sense that John Gruden is showing us that he's really learned and kind of matured and adapted to this new game as a coach. So that's where I'm going with it. I mean, he's a Razor. He's about to get him cut.
Yeah, fair enough.
Strong.
That I like. That was strong.
Yeah,
because I agree. I think Mariota's starting at some point this year.
Why didn't we start with that? You know, we were talking about Tyrod and Justin Herbert. Who cares? Okay, Mariota and Derek Carr, man. That's the talk. All right, Ben, you are the 103, my friend. Right. What is your device? Your toiletry?
I'm a little nervous because I feel like this is going to be a hot take. I am a bar of soap guy. I'm not a body wash guy.
Oh.
So I'm going to go with the bar of soap. And I am going to correlate that with Tyler Boyd. I feel like the bar of soap is kind of old news. It's kind of just, it's kind of slept on. Body wash is super exciting. We got T. Higgins coming in. John Ross is still young, and maybe he's got something. AJ Green is back. But Tyler Boyd is just Mr. Reliable. The bar of soap gets it done for me every single time, and Tyler Boyd's just going to walk away in PPR, which is what we play, as a strong top 20 wide receiver. Just take that to the bank, and that's I can rely on him like I can rely on my bar of soap.
Strong,
I love it.
You can stay.
I mean, it always seems like a bar of soap is lasting like years too. Like
they
body wash, maybe like a couple months, or whatever. But bar of soap, I mean, do they ever expire? Do you ever run out of a bar? Do you only have to buy one bar, right?
It's
lasts forever. They're slippery.
Down, and you need a new one. It's like haven't I been using this for 3 years? And I'm team slot wide receiver, Tyler Boyd all day. Yeah.
All right. Are you ever concerned about the potential, follicle that ends up on the bar of soap? Your T. Higgins.
Not really. I don't even think. I think I just use it myself. My wife, does her own thing. So even if it happens, we're good. We'll figure it out.
It's yours. It's okay.
Tyler Boyd's down to have a bad game here or there, but he'll bounce back. He'll
bounce back.
Oh man.
And with T. Higgins, honestly, I mean, he's a replacement for AJ Green anyway. Like that's the type of receiver that he is. He's an X receiver, and he's probably gonna not impact anything with Tyler Boyd. I don't think they have another slot receiver really on that team that
and they don't have a tight end, right? So I mean.
And I mean, they're refusing to throw Joe Mixon the football. So, like, eventually they're going to have to get it to the intermediate locations. And we've already seen Tyler Boyd get all the targets in the world before.
And he's good.
So, I mean, even with AJ Green coming back, I think that we saw even better numbers when AJ Green was playing with Tyler Boyd. So, he's an established piece of the offense.
And it's not directly correlational, of course, but what Joey B did with Justin Jefferson in the slot, like, some of that will translate. Like not all of it, but it's going to be a nice pairing for sure.
All right. I guess it's my turn in this draft, and I'm not going to choose Walmart shampoo. I am actually going to take what hasn't been taken yet, which is body wash. And as a person who And for the first 22-ish years of my life, I used 3-in-1, shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. And then I got into a relationship, and my girlfriend / fiance was like, you should actually buy body wash. And so the way I'm comparing this is I'm going to say that body wash is Julian Edelman, because you can always count on it, and you don't understand how important it is until you have it yourself.
Okay. Strong.
Getting inside of Cam's head right now. He's like, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, that's strong.
That was good. Gabe, do you want 105 here, or do you want me to go here?
I mean, I just hope you don't take what I have in mind, I guess.
I was just about to say, if you snipe me, then I'm gonna be out of luck. I'm not gonna have to.
Go ahead. It's all right. We'll figure it out. Just yeah.
105 in the as FF Chef himself put it together there. The shower widget draft, the open bar shower draft, the device draft, whatever you want to call this monstrosity we've got going. I am going to go with conditioner. Now, it's a kicker with conditioner. Conditioner is obviously a great complement to shampoo. Shampoo is a very necessary A side of the record, while conditioner gives you the nice glisten, the nice feel, all of the aesthetics that are really pleasing to your hair come through the conditioner. My Frohawk says so. I mean, you gotta take care of it. Now, the best B side that I can think of to go with conditioner would be one Kareem Hunt, because Nick Chubb is the obvious A side to the record in Cleveland. However, Kareem Hunt is one of the, if not the best B side to any record, to any shampoo, to any top back that you could have. Kareem Hunt is the A++ version of conditioner. So whatever, so we're not dealing with the 3-in-1s, Nathan. You can chuck that Suave out the window. We're not dealing with child's play here. your Dove men's 3-in-1. We're not doing it. This is the top shelf, the beautiful stuff, the stuff that you probably got to spend like $20 a bottle for. Kareem Hunt is my conditioner, is my 105.
J Mike and Aton's, I don't know whose was better. That was good.
And the craziest thing about Kareem Hunt is, I mean, it's we think, at least based on what we saw last season, that Kareem Hunt is going to take the vast majority of the targets out there in Cleveland. But I mean, Kareem Hunt was also the league leading rusher at one point in his career. I mean, there's a possibility that Kareem Hunt, probably a probability with a new coaching staff that has no affiliation with Nick Chubb, that Kareem Hunt is probably likely to eat in some carries as well. Not because Nick Chubb is not the man, or not because Nick Chubb is not ridiculous in his own right, but just because Kareem Hunt is as good or very good himself. So the chance that he could also play a role on the ground in addition to what he can do in the receiving side of things, and the knowledge that in the event that Nick Chubb does go down for whatever reason, that this guy is a bell cow RB, makes him super, super valuable.
And that the Browns offense is just set up for so much success with their running backs.
They're going to run 21, they're going to run 12, and they're just going to run and
they
run.
Upgraded
and
offensive
run.
line. They traded for the freaking Broncos fullback. I mean, we know what they want to do.
Get busy.
J Mike, we got to go back to that. Well, I want to address the whole toothpaste thing at the 101. First, I mean, Josh, you're a psychopath for one.
I've literally never done that in my life.
And two, that's not a 101. You can sneak that in like the waivers. You don't even have to do it in like the 4th or 5th round.
That's
like you can get that off waivers, bro. What is you doing,
fab, bro?
Come on, man.
Good stuff, Gabe. That needed to be called out.
Yeah, just real quick. Nothing but love, Josh. Except for that. All right. So, J Mike, you did indeed snipe my toiletry for sure. I had a whole story, cooked up about conditioner. Okay. I'm going to stop talking. J Mike, I'm going to start like being aware of what I'm saying when I say it out loud. I'm going to work on that, devices.
I believe you can.
Yeah. All right. So check this though. I basically just had to run through the mill of like, what do I use in the shower? I use shampoo, taken. I use conditioner, taken. Body wash, taken. All right. But where do I round it out? Face wash. All right. Face wash. Give me that St. Ives grapefruit, baby. Come on. Vitamin C. Vitamin you can't see me. Huh? So, J Mike, you said it right there, buddy. What was the word that you just said?
Exfoliate.
Exfoliate. If you don't know what that word means, look it up. I mean, you probably do, but you're ridding of the toxins, okay? You're ridding of the toxins. You're rubbing it all over your face, okay? You're getting the dirt out of your pores. You're exfoliating. So I'm kind of flipping it here. A lot of you guys have some positives about all of these players. I'm having us rid of the toxins out of the pores, okay? Out of this ridiculousness that is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. In Dynasty at the 105 overall. Okay. It's just getting a little bit too spicy for me. I'm not personally like doing that ever in a startup. If you happen to do that in a rookie draft, I am totally ready to sell unless you're in a position to, possibly win, which apparently him being at the 105, it seems like you are automatically in a position to win if that's where we're taking him. So I'm just ridding of the toxins, man. All right. It's too much. Sell. We don't like running backs, do we? Right. Or are we back on team robust RB? Is that where we're at, guys? What's the dealio?
I feel like, almost even more than the CH hype, like the Miles Sanders hype, like both of these guys right now, for me,
at least he
like,
played.
I want a lot of things to happen for these for these guys to really, return on investment. I expect CH to because of the receiving workload, but we haven't even seen Patrick Mahomes target the running back all that often. Travis Kelce is definitely there, and usually on teams you see a large target share to either the running back or the tight end, not both of them at the same time. So I think that CH is probably going to hit and probably going to hit early, but with Miles Sanders, his hype for me is the one that's kind of outsized.
That's the thing is I think he'll hit. I think it's going to be hard for him to fail. I think he's going to be fine, but to be a 105 overall, like I think he could be like the 5th overall running back, but I kind of think that's the ceiling. And if I'm not in a position to just like win everything this year and we already know how this year is possibly up in the air anyway, whatever. So I'd be comfortable selling if there was some like haul that you could take for CEH at a 105 equivalent.
I feel like the 105 is pretty high. I like my wide receivers in Dynasty, and I realize you need running backs to win championships. But it's interesting. Like I feel like we're kind of already acting like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the next CMC, and it's like, yeah, those don't come around very often. There's still, I want to throw a couple more things in there though. Quite a downfall for the Lufa. The 1.03 in 2019 is now not even in the first round. So,
yep.
Wow, that running back value in Dynasty. That's sad to see. And I also want to give you a bonus because no rated R here, but when you're in the shower, you like to be with your thoughts. You like to just kind of make sense of the
world. Go with this, Ben. Like to be with you.
and no rated R, no rated R. You just you like to be with your thoughts, you like to make sense of the world, and sometimes those can get a little crazy. So I'm going to give you 2 more just because I can't help myself.
Yep.
We already
kind of talk around. Get Sam back on the show.
I think so. Because once you start, thinking, you can tell yourself a story. So we already kind of touched on 1. Mike Williams outscores Keenan Allen this year. And then 2, Jonnu Smith is the real deal this year. He hits. He's a top 8 tight end.
Ooh, you heard it here.
Thoughts alone in the shower. That's a hashtag right there.
And we all know that Jonathan Taylor is the Lawnmower 3.0 promo code RotoViz.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man,
that's all I got.
Strong, Ben. Well done. Well done. Nathan, just real quick. I know that you've been super passionate about this, but I'm gonna take in my dynasty startups, I'm gonna take Jonathan Taylor in the second round, and I'm gonna call it 0 RB. Are you okay with that?
No, that's not 0 RB. Sorry, not gonna allow it. I talked to Sean. I talked with Sean. I said, "Can J Mike take Jonathan Taylor in the second round and call it 0 RB?" He said, "No." He said, "Man Bun can, but J Mike he can't."
Oh, he's so cool.
Is it Smiz that's trying to get Bell Cow and Chill hashtags? Because I like that. I like Bell Cow and Chill.
Bell Cow and Chill. That's good. I like that too. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, I think that's Smith. I think he's trying to get that going.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I was oblivious to that. Well, that's a great draft game. Well, way to close strong.
Look,
for real,
you really just got to thank Nathan for that. Just coming in showering,
Shout out to the showers.
Yeah, FF inspiration. Okay.
Shower
had he not showered, we would have been comparing body odor to late round sleepers.
Yep.
And this is why Lamar Miller stinks.
when you reach down to smell your armpit and you forgot to put on deodorant, that's the feeling you get if you take Lamar Jackson in the third round with the regression that's going to hit.
Yep.
Regression.
Negative regression.
Not to be confused
for anyone listening. I had quotes. I had quotes.
Regression has to be negative, right? No, it's weird. I know. I'm sorry.
All right. Dan Arnold.
Yeah.
J Mike, I got you.
Eitan, just real quick before we go, I've legitimately known you for what now? 3 years, 2+ years, 3 years. We've had conversations about life. We've talked about each other's significant others. We talked about your dog kids. We talked about my actual children, like people kids. We've talked about jobs. We've talked about just trying to make it. We've talked about being Black in America. We've had so many wonderful conversations in life. And not once in 3 years have you ever put together the words Dan and Arnold and Truther and just lined all that up real nice until tonight. So I'm going to need you to tell me, maybe this is why you've been ducking my calls. Maybe this is why you've been ducking my DMs because Dan Arnold's become a thing in your life. And apparently we can't jive like we used to. So before we get the outros out the way, I need you to let me know, when did Dan Arnold swipe right on you? Like, when did that happen?
I mean, with the Saints, that tight end spot, it's so lucrative if somebody actually gets there and is a solid target, because there's only 2 wide receivers on that team of consequence. And one of those wide receivers for the longest time was Alvin Kamara. Say what you want to say about Emmanuel Sanders. This was before Jared Cook. And I just wanted a TE to happen so bad. And Dan Arnold happened to be on that team. And
okay, I thought
he runs fast. And I just wanted it. I wanted it to happen. And I still do.
I thought you were still hinting at you thought he was still on the Saints. I was like confused.
No, that's when I realized that Dan Arnold played NFL football.
But Eitan, to your point, I got to shout out my boy Matty Dickinson. I don't know if you guys know Matty Dickinson or not, but I've potted with him a couple of times. That night, Eitan, you might remember this, when he caught a touchdown on Thanksgiving night for the Saints. Matty Dickinson won some money that night, and that's one of those fun DFS moments you never forget. So shout out to him, because he's a real truther. Like,
see, Dan Arnold's just a good guy. He's just out there helping people, getting people money. You want to root for Dan Arnold.
Who hurt you? Who broke your heart to where you thought it would be a good idea to snuggle up next to Dan Arnold in Arizona with all them other You know what?
I have to say he's not the only one.
Dan Arnold is not going to be
Max Williams.
I want it to happen.
But
I mean, we have no Albert Wilson, so I have to hope beyond hope on somebody this season, and that somebody this year will be Dan Arnold.
And now we have Isaiah Ford, so.
Ben is reaching deep in that DFS bag right now. The best ball last round bag.
Yeah, right.
That's a little too deep. That's a little too deep.
All right, Gabe. That's all. I've got no. Oh, great question by Larry Monkey. Last second. We'll go around the horn with this one. Dan Arnold or Gronk this season?
Yeah. Real quick.
Last question.
Obviously, Dan Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, this
Gronk,
isn't even really a question here. It's Dan Arnold easily.
Yeah. Nice guy award.
Okay, but
you gonna trust Gronk with that? Come on.
In all seriousness, Dan Arnold will pop for at least a couple games this year. He will win somebody a GPP again as he's done in the past. I'm telling you.
I expect at least a catch for a touchdown.
I'm not even a truther, J Mike. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I think. That's it.
You guys ready for a hot take? Sam Darnold will have more receiving touchdowns than Dan Arnold.
Frank Gore with the halfback pass. Let's get it.
Oh my! I want to see that happen. I do.
I do too.
That's like Brandon Bolden having more touchdowns last year than Leonard Fournette, which I can't believe is a true stat.
Crazy, right? That's real.
That's not my stat. I forget who tweeted it, but yeah.
Shout out to Matty.
Hold on. No. Let's talk about stats. That's not someone's stat. That's just someone's player line.
I'll be honest. I said that, and I was like, that was really stupid. Like no one owns that.
Someone owns this. No one else is allowed to tweet it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm dumb. Anyways, that's yeah. So yeah.
We know what you meant. We
got you, man. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm fresh out of shower drafts. Nothing else to add to that, but we could have gone second round. I think we had some devices in the tuck that we were ready to bring out.
Well, the comment section did say the phone, which is an integral part of any shower with the podcasting.
It's a fact. That is a fact.
Yep.
Who would be the music that you play while you're listening? I'm gonna stop.
Just some 90s R&B over.
I'll be look, I'll be honest. Spotify has it like sing in the shower playlist. It is fire. If you want to just like get down, I'm telling you, want to bring up your day a little bit, a little 5 p.m. shower, a beer in the shower, Spotify shower playlist, man.
I might have to take you up on that. I don't listen to music in the shower, but I might need to change that.
Really?
I don't.
Oh man, game changer.
Listen now, Ben.
I don't. I'm gonna need to throw on the Hamilton soundtrack.
Once.
Strong.
I don't know why I'm just like
grandfather was a brimstone preacher.
Alexander Hamilton. Just like
my name is Alexander. Yeah, no, that's
Alexander
fire.
Madison. All right, that's it, man. We can't do this no more. Let's get out of here. Let's give some outros to some people. Let them say what they need to say. We will start in the same order that we started, with the cleanest man on the planet, Nathan. Good to have you on the show. I can't believe we've made it this far. What do you got to share with the people?
You can always find the Nice Trade Cast on RotoViz Radio each and every week, usually Tuesday or Wednesday. And make sure to check out my DLF YouTube series. It's called Commissioner Chronicles. If you are a Dynasty Commissioner and are new or a veteran to the game, I pretty much talk about all sorts of league settings and how to implement them in your Dynasty League. So check out the Commissioner Chronicles on the DLF YouTube channel and the Nice Trade Cast on RotoViz Radio.
We still didn't get a drunk or not.
So I'm very sober.
I know. Yeah, I'm proud of you. All right, I'm proud of you to trade sober. these days. All right, Ben, my guy, my dude, what's up? What do you got to share with the people?
You're making me nervous with the full screen. Also, Corey Davis is the toenail clipper because one, he has a hurt toe right now. Two,
You got him.
you don't. It's really annoying to use, but at the end of the day, it's something that you need to do and it's productive. I don't do as much anymore. You can find me with the Fantasy Footballers at Ben Cummins FF. I tweeted out if you want to purchase the DFS pass, it's a one-time payment. I'm obsessed with DFS, cash and GPP picks. Other than that, I'm gonna try to start doing a little bit more on my own YouTube and then just joining great podcasts like this when I get the opportunity. So appreciate it.
And I think that we've already provided you an opportunity with your own kind of shower cast of sorts.
Get it?
Listen,
the Ben Cummins shower cast.
Ben Cummins shower cast.
And we still got the NBA podcast after this, me and Jay Mike.
Yep.
So
The bubble.
Oh man, this is great.
The bubble.
I'm ready.
The
bubble ball, baby. Bubble ball.
Beyond the bubble with J Mike and Ben Cummins.
Studs, bubble. I got you. Okay.
I like the heat.
I can hear Manscaped calling right now.
Ben, that's strong. I heard you.
I like the Heat in the East at plus 1,000. Make the finals.
Wait, what? Who?
Heat, man.
The Miami Heat. They're deep. They got my boy Jimmy. They got Bam. They got Dragic as a I'm gonna stop.
Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero. Duncan Robinson. They got my boy Andre Iguodala, which, fun fact, he's from my hometown of Springfield, Illinois. They have a squad.
For what it's worth, the East is
problems.
The East is always just up for grabs.
The East is up for grabs. I don't believe in Milwaukee. Toronto, look, you're good, but you don't have Kawhi anymore. That's going to show in the playoffs at some point. There's no home court. There's no fans. There's going to be crazy blowouts. There's always crazy upsets. But in the bubble, there's going to be some upsets. And the Heat, they're going to make some noise.
I like that.
We'll get to it in the NBA podcast.
And the Lakers are on notice because time is coming.
I was literally about to talk about it because I don't think that they're that good. All right, we got to go though. All right, bubble ball, man. The NBubbleA. Aton, dude, what's good? Share it. Share everything. Except the Dan Arnold takes. We can go without that.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be on the podcast. As always, happy to be on the show. As always, you can find me at the Dynasty Diagnostic on the DTC feed. You can also find it some past episodes on the other feed. Whichever one that you listen to, please go ahead. Let us know if you like the podcast. If you enjoy the podcast, go ahead and give us a rate and review. And to J Mike, to Genius on the mic himself, again, thank you so much for having me on the show. Really appreciated my time here and can't wait to be back.
I promise to give you a little bit more respect as a future guest. I won't just throw it in the chat of, hey, who wants it? But that is really appreciated. People come through in the clutch like that, and now you're on the list, man. I mean, I think you've been on the list, but I think you've done this several times, actually. Just I'll come. So you're the man, Aton. Much love. J Mike, what's up? How bad are the Spurs?
Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Those Spurs go. It might not be this year, but we're gonna give somebody some problems in that 8-9 game.
Never sleep on Pop.
In that 8-9
exactly.
game.
Talk about it. In that 8-9 game, you see it. Anywho, just grateful for this time. I am so thankful for tonight. Tonight was fun. Too much fun. Nathan, Ben, great to be able to meet you all for the first time and be able to chop it up with you. Thank you all for slumming it with us on here on the Open Bar. And thank you so much for bringing us all of your wonderful hygiene takes, along with all of those wonderful NBA future bets. I'm here for all of those.
Hey, let's go.
Aton, I love you dearly. You know that, my brother. I appreciate you. Good to see you, and I hope that you are well. in all that you're doing. So it's good to see your face and be able to chop it up with you too.
And then also, people, like, I'm sorry for my fingers in the camera. Yes, my camera is literally at the bottom of my computer screen, so that's why you've been seeing my fingers this entire podcast. But yes,
best fingers in the game.
I didn't think it could get any weirder after the shower takes, but we got I just looked out of my last 13 tweets. I tweeted about the open bar. The other 12 are all about Damian Lillard. I have a problem.
I don't even play basketball anymore. And we had a student teacher basketball game in February, and I literally almost bought Dames just for the game. Like, I don't even play anymore. Wow. I just wanted the Dames.
I'll be honest, I've been sleeping on him for far too long, but I've had the awakening this year. Like when on Kobe night, when he went into LA and beat the Lakers on Kobe night, that's when I said, okay.
I think I'm missing out on something here.
So
he's an alien.
He really is. To everyone in the chat, appreciate y'all for keeping it lit. Golly, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to spend time with us, whether it been 5 minutes or almost 2 hours. We're grateful for your time. Thank you all for kicking in and giving us topics and laughing it up with us. If you're listening to this in podcast form, obviously you're missing the live goodness, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, YouTube, Periscope. But we appreciate the fact that you're checking us out on podcast form. So thank you for that. Again, that's anywhere podcasts are found, whether it be Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, wherever it may be, we're there. And if you want to rate us and review us, great. We appreciate it. And if not, thank you at least for listening to this portion and maybe even considering sharing with a friend. We hope that we can bring some levity to your week, some fun, some fantasy, some nonsense, and a place that you can come to the open bar as always and be you. That's what we're all about here. A lot of nonsense going on in the world. I could go into a lot of different things, but all in all, love your family well, love women well, encourage women well, stand up for those who are being disenfranchised or knocked down or kicked down or talked to or disrespected in any sort of way, whoever that may be, wherever that may be. Have the courage to be able to stand up and do those things. I'd love to be able to go into that a lot deeper, but I will not do so at this time. But that said, I'm on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. You can find the show's handle at the Open Bar Pod. And you can find my main man, the host with the most, Bun G, Genius the MC, FF Sound It Out, FF Onions, FF Did You Shower Today, FF Peel It Back, on Twitter at FF Man Bun. Gabe, my main man, take us home.
I think we have our gang for the week, J Mike. That's for sure. All right. I think I got you on board with this one. Man, just I don't know how that we just are able to have so much diverse fun on a podcast every week, and it's just always different and always fun, man. And good to meet new people. I mean, we've already mentioned it a bunch, but Nathan, Ben, been listening to y'all for a minute, maybe more than you know, and it's just cool to be able to pod with you. And Eitan, obviously you're a vet here on the bar. Come on, man, pop the hood.
I mean, I got my show sheet, so I just want to make sure that
you stay show sheeted. Come on. All right. J Mike's got a couple of pods. A little J Mike journal. All right. Dummy Blitz. What's
highly recommended.
Yeah. I mean, look, everyone, you don't go through this podcast and not think, I want to listen to that guy speak more. Well,
that's you can, facts.
Yeah, exactly. So you have that opportunity with 2 more podcasts, and though they are a bit shorter than this quite lengthy podcast,
Morgan Freeman's got to retire at some point.
I know.
He's got to retire at some point. So J Mike is just waiting for you.
We'll do some readings.
He said, "I'm not touching that one."
I got nothing. Thank you guys, but y'all wild.
Yeah, I don't know. We got a show next week, J Mike, right? And are they your guests this time, J Mike? Are they?
Wait, is this how we're gonna do this every week now? Like a custody battle? Like I've got the kids this Tuesday. I'll bring the kids by your house next Tuesday. Like, wow. I don't even think I know you anymore. FF devices.
You
Come
get
on,
Christmas. I get Thanksgiving.
We are
man.
about
FF
to do
device
that.
gang. God.
FF devices. Yeah, we'll be here, man. We'll be here all of August. We'll be here if there isn't an NFL season, because we'll just start. Look, we were one of the first podcasts to ditch 2020 as a whole for rookies. We were done with them. We were on to 2021. Okay, so we're done with it. I know Debbie podcasts like kind of already do that exclusively, but like, you know, we on that. All right. So what else? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Cheers, guys. Drinks. If you don't have them, throw a fist up. That's perfect. We do that as well here at the open bar. We did it. We done did it. Honestly, I think this is, until J Mike went and got that beer. I was surprised at the lack of consumption. Not that it's a problem whatsoever. It's just I was surprised. Beer. And that's a thick boy.
He's drinking for the two of us. That's
yep. Okay. And remember, he went and got that after I said devices. So
that you did. That I did.
Yeah. Like, I need a beer. It's got to get weird. They might get so scared whatever draft I come up with. He's always worried about what I'm going to say. All right. Man. Oh, we got to make it 10 more seconds, J Mike.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
Come on, man. All right. We will see you all next week. Doses.